My name's Chris Neto. I am the Market Development Manager here at Starin, and I'm happy to have with me today Jose Gonzalez, the Vice President of Global Distribution at Crestron. How are you, Jose?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you for having us.
Sounds great. We also brought on Sean McCormick, who's the Distribution Technical Solutions Director at Crestron. How are you, Sean?
Good afternoon. Doing well.
Sean, you're the person that we need to ask the technical questions to. So let me get this right. You're the nerdy one?
I'm the nerdy one. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to get that. I want to get that clear. So you're the man who, okay. Keep that into your Q&A, folks. We do have a technical specialist with us who will be able to assist. Jose, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm actually calling from Greenville, South Carolina today. I'm traveling this week, but I'm happy to join and tell everybody a little bit about our partnership. Very excited about the things that we can do together. And obviously I'm here to, together with Sean, to help in any way we can to make it easy for anyone to do business with us. So looking forward to it.
Sounds great. And one thing I do love, and that we all love to see, is a company who's actually doing what they sell. You're working remotely, you're on the road, you're doing the work from home remote style. Appreciate that. Thank you. Not a lot of companies are going to go out there and risk calling from a hotel room. So thank you so much for taking the time actually to sit with us here. You are the right person. You are our channel manager. So you're the person that Starin interacts with the most. And for the folks that are watching, what is important about it is, and one of the things that I like to do with our Starin town halls is to put the people, the name, the faces behind the company. Crestron is not just the company that is selling boxes, moving boxes, and putting parts inside your rack. There are people that work there, and we want to give you the access to those people and have their support network attached to us and what we do here at Starin in order to serve you guys better. So that's how we operate. That's how we like to do things. Internally, we have our own internal resources, but you can't hide the fact that we have an entire global company behind us with Starin as well. So, with Crestron. We are a global company too. Look at that. Go figure. All right, sir. Let us, do we get to the 900-pound gorilla right now? Let's go right to it.
Okay.
Tell me, sir, the question on everybody's mind. I don't even have to touch the Q&A right now. Tell us what the current situation is that you can tell us regarding the supply chain and what's going on, and how can we be better prepared?
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you for that question. So yeah, obviously the whole supply chain issue has been impacted a lot of businesses out there, Crestron and obviously Starin and all our partners are very familiar with it. One of the things that we did start working very closely with Starin back even before we launched during Infocom on the partnership was, hey, how do we do demand planning together? How do we work on making sure that there is product flowing in for the opportunities that you, Starin, and obviously your resellers and your customers want, right? So we did start doing that very early on in the year so that product starts flowing and we can capture as much business together as we can, right? So because we started earlier, obviously there's product that is going to be flowing for these opportunities that we have captured together, right? However, that doesn't mean that the lead times are not there and that they're not real, right? They are. So what I recommend is that the sooner that we know that one of your IT resellers knows about, hey, I'm working on this opportunity. It's 10 small rooms, 20 medium-sized rooms. The customer, the end user, needs it to be deployed and in place in March of 2023. How do we plan together to accommodate that, right? But we have to start the moment that we know about it. And Chris, the reason I say that is because obviously if you were to ship today to an end user 200 devices for 200 rooms, there's no way they can install 200 devices in one day, right? So if we work with them ahead of time, we can say, okay, do you need 50 in March, 50 in April, 50 in June, right? That planning is very critical, and I'm sure a lot of our resellers and you are very familiar with it because we've been living with this right? This is not new news, right?
Well, for the person who sent me the message, you don't know my team. You're right. We don't. If you could do 200 in a day, we're operating with the right integrators. Thank you so much. But yes, I get what you're saying. It's been a challenge, not just for you, and it's unfair to just put the blame on. Oh my God, it's only affecting Crestron. It's not. It's affecting everything across the board. And I wish I could just say, for my own personal selfish reasons, that it was just an AV thing, but trying to do things even at my own house and taking me 3 weeks to source 3 pieces of lumber has been a challenge on its own. So there's just all sorts of things broken in the chain as well. So one of the things that obviously, if we're going to be talking about your product, what are the products that I'll let you be the person to announce? What are the products that we carry for Crestron?
Excellent. So very good question. So, in distribution, what we are actually selling through Starin, Midwich, and this is really truly a global relationship that we launched. Okay, we are, set up now for North America. Okay, with Starin, we are working with Midwich, which is the parent company for EMEA and coverage out of EMEA. Okay, in case there's anybody in the audience from that part of the world. The products that we're selling, it's actually what we call our Flex product line. Okay, these are the kits that and I just have a very simple. We have a very simple picture of it, but these are basically the kits that any enterprise out there or any company out there would be thinking about whether it's a personal small workspace like a cubicle or your home office, for example, and if you want to consider the phones on the left, to a small, medium, and large room in an enterprise, right, in a business, whether it's an SMB business or a multinational Fortune 500, Global 500 company. Okay, so the product line is the Flex product line for those types of rooms. It is scheduling, so anything related to scheduling for those specific types of rooms, and also the air media. Okay, along with other accessories like people counting, et cetera, et cetera. But those are the basics of the product line. Flex kits that are either Teams or Zoom or BYOD, scheduling, and air media. So it's a very straightforward, very simple product line that we're focusing on.
So that narrows it down to a certain types of equipment, but also certain types of rooms. These Flex product lines, could you break down a little bit as far as where they're intended? Let me explain. What I used to consider a huddle room may be very different today than what it was, say, 2.5 years ago. What are the room configurations that we're talking about? Small, medium, large? Do they work in an educational environment? Because we do have some ed tech folks that will pop into the conversation here. Tell me about that, or ed tech or higher ed. I'm sorry. So
absolutely. So very, very good question. So yes, so our rooms, if we were to break down the rooms, it would be anything, small would be considered anything between 2 and 6 people, probably no more than 10 feet in size, right?
Yep.
A medium room could be between 6 and 12 people with, a room that's up to 20 feet. Okay. And then the large meeting rooms would be any that are like 12 or more people in that space. Okay. Now, in terms of verticals, absolutely. We're enterprise, education, government in particular. And the reason I want to highlight government is because our kids are actually TAA compliant. Okay, and that's very important if you're selling into the government, right? Whether it's local, state, federal, and that also in many large enterprises, security, it's very important. That's why the TAA compliance is actually very, very important in that area. So again, small, medium, large, education, absolutely, government, very much, enterprise, definitely.
Awesome. All right, so Tell me about the kits themselves, and maybe this is where we can maybe possibly bring in Sean as well. When we're talking about these kits, what's hot right now in the industry, obviously we're all following the trends. All-in-one seem to be dominating everybody's press releases from every manufacturer, all-in-one boards to all-in-one speaker bars, sound bars.
Mhm.
How customizable is this? Because I'll be honest with you, I grew up in this industry. I fell into this industry. Nobody, unless your dad owned a company, I doubt grew up in it. So let me correct myself there. I fell into this industry after graduating college, and I've known Crestron's brand from the late 90s on. Very customizable, very particular. That's where you went when you couldn't find things that work together. You put Crestron in the middle, and they kind of shook hands and played nice. So where are we today when it comes to how far can we push the, hey, it's all in a box versus the customizable solution, if that's still trending?
Very good question. So Sean, do you want to cover the kits in themselves, or I think that would be something actually good for you to do.
Absolutely. So we start simple, right? We start with the Mercury Mini. That is the small form factor. I'll call it road bump. We shouldn't call it that, but that's what everybody calls it. It is a touch panel on the front, speaker on the back. That's targeted at a small room environment, huddle rooms, the 10 by 10s, right? And it is, as you said, sort of a room in a box. It's got everything you need to set up a Teams room or a Zoom room and get functional and be doing what you need to do. We can take that same form factor, make it a little bit larger. That's the main Mercury unit, the bigger one, right? And that goes into medium and large rooms. But again, we're looking at simple, straightforward conferencing spaces, 1 or 2 displays, the appropriate size, the appropriate number of people in that room, roll it out, and you're good to go. That's the core of the line. At the small end, we can also do sound bars. We have the Crestron sound bar, and we're rolling out the Panicast sound bars as well. Again, small space, but now I don't want to be a center of table experience. I want to be an on-wall experience.
Correct.
Focusing in that direction. That's the core, right? But Crestron, as you said, is known for custom. That is where we come from. That's our origin. And so at the very high end of the line, we've got what we call a custom kit. It just really isn't designed for any kind of space you want to build. And what I mean by that is it doesn't ship with a speaker. It doesn't ship with a microphone. It doesn't ship with a camera. It's just the engine that runs Teams or Zoom and the touch interface, so that you've got the console capability. And the expectation then is that the rest of the room will be built out by a reseller using properly certified AV equipment, DSPs, speakers, microphones, and dial that all in, put it into that central unit, and now I've got a large customizable space, right? I've got that.
Sean, just to clarify, when you say something is certified, are you saying Crestron certified, or are you talking about Zoom Room, Microsoft Teams certified?
You are correct. I'm talking about Teams certified and Zoom Room certified.
Okay.
We don't define what works with the software. We comply with what works with the software. Right? And that is a pretty broad range of products. But in like a large space, for example, the most common one might be Lyons. Right? Put that in as the DSP for the space. And then build it out around that. So, if I've got a situation where I've got a dividable room and I want to use this in multiple rooms, that's where we get into that custom kit. I need that extra work.
Yeah.
That customization, though, it also exists at the small end. And that's something I don't think a lot of people know. We don't have an all-in-one unit. All-in-one units are great, but there's no customization in that. It's a soundbar with all the stuff in it. It does what it does. That's it. But with Air Media, we've built in firmware that allows for wireless conferencing. You connect over Wi-Fi, plug in any certified soundbar, again, Teams certified, Zoom certified, plug in a display, and now I'm using my laptop to present over Wi-Fi using whatever software you feel like to whatever soundbar you had, connected to whatever display you had, and I've got a conference room, right? Air Media is the central core for that. It becomes that centerpiece, like you said, that we build around. So can we still customize? We sure can.
And you guys are, you have alliance partnerships with other brands, including some of the brands that we carry as well. And I'm obviously, if you're talking Zoom and Microsoft Teams, Zoom, I'm a little bit more familiar, but Zoom has their approved list of products that they went ahead and got Zoom certified and Zoom approved. So when you're shopping for this stuff as integrators and you're looking at how you're putting the things together, you have a choice of speakers and microphones that you are comfortable and with working and are known, that you trust their brand. For example, if you are specific, there are diehards, there are people that won't get away from certain products. And if that's the case, you can stay true to those as long as they are Zoom or Microsoft Teams certified for these spaces. So that's good to know, and that's good to have. And part of that, can we rewind it just a little bit here? And I guess it's a Sean question again. The benefit of the certifications, because I know it, but maybe the folks that are watching are not familiar with what the benefit of a certified product is.
Yeah, absolutely. So the key there is both Microsoft and Zoom set out a set of standards. They say this is what is required to meet the certification level. And you have to submit your product and go through a testing procedure. The response on their side then is that they promise that they will continue to support that device that they have certified. That future software updates, future firmware updates won't knock it out of contention and make it cease to work. So it's a two-way relationship there. And that means if you use certified products, it will continue to function into the future.
Sounds good. Sounds great. So for folks that are new to the Crestron product through us, one of the things that I also would like to make very clear is that aside from what you get with Starin and our design services that we have internal and the support of our team and obviously our great team on both sales side and our support staff, you do have access to the Crestron support and to the Crestron Technical Institute as well. So if there is anything here that may seem off to you or not working, or that you may be having some issues with, you do have access to the CTIs, it's called. I spent some time there myself learning, because I hate not knowing about a product that I carry. So I need to know more. It's just my curious nerd self going. So you do have access to that, which is great. And one of the things that, if Mark brings up the slide, not only do you have our Starin staff that's here to help and assist, but you have a team of people over at Crestron that is able to assist as well. Jose, you want to give us a run through of what their roles are and who these people are in front of us? Do I recognize at least two or three that I recognize already?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, you have myself, my direct contact information. You can reach out at any time. You have Sean McCormick, who's on the call with us. Actually, he happens to be calling from our next roadshow in Dallas this week. Josh Lyons, who couldn't be on the call today because he flew back today from Greenville to back to Florida, where he's based out of. He is our channel manager for North America. Okay. Kira DeLong is our distribution marketing manager based out of New Jersey. Jennifer and Daisy are our customer support team. And obviously on top of this, as Chris mentioned, you have the full support of our technical support team, where any customer or yourself can call in and say, hey, I have this unit, I need to install it, I'm having some issues, and they will either resolve it on the spot or figure out the next steps to get a result for your customer and for you. Okay, so that's the team. It's a small team, but we're very nimble, we move very fast, and we're here to help on any questions that you may have.
Sounds great. Sounds great. All right. Well, one question that I have is, like many manufacturers that we work with currently, there's always a deal registration setup type thing. Can you give us an overview of what the deal registration program is? And again, just for the people that are on the line, your deal registration goes through, and it can come through our Starin folks. We're happy to help. Your account executives can help. Your CEs are more than happy to help as well. But I guess, Jose, what are the benefits, and what tell us about the deal registration program for the integrators that are watching?
Absolutely, great question. So we do have a deal registration program, as you mentioned, and Chris, if you're an integrator or a reseller that works with Starin, obviously you can certainly get that. It's a one-pager that details everything, and the deal registration actually goes through Starin. Okay, So contact your sales rep or your contact within Starin, and they'll be happy to walk you through that. The great thing about doing a real deal registration is that then that locks you in, that protects you, because if you register it and it gets approved, because you'll get an approval email or frankly a not approved email, you will get it approved. If it's a net new opportunity that you want to register and then receive the benefits of that, but that's something that you can discuss certainly with your sales rep. We highly recommend that you do that because it doesn't matter the vertical you're working with, enterprise, education, public sector, you name it. Why? Because you would be surprised. I would say that today I'm probably approving 8 out of 10. Okay, because the amount of demand and business out there that we're reaching out now that we're partnering with Starin, and the fact that our partnership is very strong on the Zoom, very focused on Zoom, it has also been bringing a lot of new opportunities to the table, right? So highly encourage you to do it and receive the benefits again that come with that, registering an opportunity with us. Okay.
Sounds good. And I guess the only other question I may have before we get to the Q&A, because obviously that's what we're here for. It is a town hall, so they have questions. And for everybody who is late joining into the room, go ahead and type in your questions down into the Q&A. We're going to try to get to all of them today because I do not like sending email with follow-up answers. I'd rather just have it all addressed today. And since I have the people here from Crestron, I want them to answer. I don't want to answer it. Come on. That's who you're here for. You're not for me. And I know that there's a lot of folks in here, and I don't need to see by show of hands, but I know that they're here for the prizes. So we'll wait to the very end because I need to keep you hanging on a cliffhanger until then. Thank you so much again for joining us. But one of the things, just to clarify, and I guess I don't know if this is a question for Sean or for Jose, your kits are specifically for, you make 2 kits that are specifically for Zoom and one for Microsoft Teams. The other one is BYOD. What is the products that you think, what are the ones that fall into the BYOD? Just so for the folks that are possibly thinking what could possibly fall into that BYOD area, what are we talking about there, Sean?
I can answer that for you. We do have 1 or 2 kits. So the Mercury unit itself, or a soundbar with no additional equipment, could be what I would call a more traditional BYOD, meaning that it is a speaker and microphone that you plug directly into a laptop, and there you go, right? Mm-hmm. So the laptop's running. Those do exist as a traditional BYOD. However, our more advanced kits, we call them the advanced kits, they're designated with an X. They have BYOD in addition to the native platform. So they would either be a Teams unit or a Zoom unit, and then have the ability to plug in a USB-C to switch to any other platform run off of a laptop, right? So those 2 different ways to approach that. The simple low-end method of get a soundbar, get a Mercury, and the higher end, do a full room and allow for additional platforms.
Sounds good. And I wouldn't flex my nerdy self if I didn't ask the nerdy question about analytics. Your products, tell me about what kind of analytics they can capture. Because today we can buy flex kits and put them into spaces, but you need those numbers somehow to, drive, hey, I've used X amount of rooms and they've been online and working and X amount of meetings have been held. What are we talking about here that come part of, or, that is part of that ecosystem? Where are we with analytics these days? Because it used to be room view back in the day, and I'm dating myself, so I'll just pull back from saying room view because I know I just said the wrong thing. So I'll just refer to it as metrics and analytics. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. That's based on a cloud-based service called XIO Cloud, right? Mm-hmm. It's an optional service. It's not required for operation of the rooms, but it works in conjunction with the Zoom's Resource Center. So you can go to your Zoom analytics and pull everything about the call itself and everything that happens in the software. And then our platform handles the hardware side of it. It tracks every bit of information that's coming to or from any piece of hardware manufactured by Crestron, and includes some of our partners such as Samsung. Their information will feed back to XIO Cloud as well. And now I can not only manage and diagnose those, I can even reach into the touch panel that's in the room and push buttons remotely. So if somebody is having trouble launching a meeting, they can reach in from the IT call center, push the button and start the meeting for them, that kind of thing. From there, we're always collecting data. There's an API built in, and if the customer wants that API, they can pull all of that information out, put it into whatever their data software is, and break it down to find the information you're looking for, including the things you're talking about. People counts for rooms, utilization, not just the utilization of when were you in a meeting, but did somebody come in and plug in the HDMI and just use it for a presentation, right? If you put in an occupancy sensor, were there people in there who didn't use the hardware at all? Put all that together and you get a really good picture of how that room's being used.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, it's important for maybe possibly today's sale, but that becomes crucial when it comes to adding on, upgrading, and going to the next level, I guess, of a bigger rollout, is having those kind of metrics. So that is available and that's out there for everybody. So now, thank you for clarifying that, Sean. So I guess now it's time we get to the Q&A for folks that have put stuff into it. We're going to go ahead and start reading off some of the Q&A. The first one was somebody kidding. Let's answer that. All right. The next one, what sort of lead times will there be for the flex equipment? Will it be better than the direct dealer have had? So a question of direct versus distribution. Will we get it first? Will they get it first? And what are the current lead times for the flex equipment?
So I'll take that, Chris. So we do not favor one or the other. You know, it's not like is distribution getting earlier access or access to the units before dealers do, or the dealer. We do not. The way that we're working and we're respecting is the process is a first in, first out. Okay. So if you are buying it as a dealer directly from Crestron and you get in line and you put your order in, no one in distribution or no other dealer is going to come in and get in front of you. Okay, first in, first out. Why? And why is that important? Well, it's important because, frankly, if we were to start moving people ahead, all it does is just, instead of having a handful of headaches and screaming customers, now we have all the ones that are below, because all of those need to be pushed out, right? So we very much respect that and follow that process. And this comes directly from the top of our company. We're not gonna favor Starin if Starin doesn't have orders in and demand planning that's gonna supersede somebody else just because it's Starin. I mean, it's a great relationship. We love working with you guys, but at the end of the day, first in, first out. Okay.
Trust me, folks. I tried offering him pizza. Doesn't work. There's no favoritism.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
No, I tried. All right. So I guess this kind of rolls into the other question that we had that says, Crestron has traditionally stayed away from distribution. Why the change now? And I should be able to answer that, but I'm not going to. You guys go ahead.
I'm happy to answer that. So one of the things that, we've been in distribution now for almost 2 years. Okay. I started working on distribution at Crestron for probably about 1.5 years ago. I've been here myself almost 5 years. Okay. I started working on the commercial side. The reason it was very, very basic and simple. We were missing out. We're missing the boat. Let me put it that way. Why? Because there are many customers out there, end users, that traditionally only buy from an IT reseller, an integrator, a VAR, okay, that buys from the distribution. That's their model, okay? And because our product was not available in distribution, as the UC potential and opportunity started increasing with Microsoft and Zoom, we were missing the boat. We were missing that opportunity, okay? And the other reason is because, frankly, as we went into distribution, we did not launch all of the product line that Crestron sells into distribution. That's why it's very focused on UC products that are traditional to Microsoft and Zoom, right, for the specific room types. So that's that was a key driver in us going into distribution.
Man, I thought it was just our good looks, man. I was waiting for it. You didn't hit me there with that, but
well, that played a little bit into it, but not too much. Sorry.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Next question comes in from Michael. Speaking of certification, it looks like some of the kits come with an Hudley L1. This is not listed as certified by Zoom. That's the question.
That's one of those things. So Hudley put in for the S1 and the L1 for certification at the same time with both Zoom and with Microsoft. And we're running down the track. And we knew that when they were done certifying, we would ship with those units. And then as we committed to ship, the S1 cleared the bar, the L1 did not. So we made the decision to continue shipping with the L1. Hudley is continuing to work on working out the kinks to finish the certification. It's just one of those things. Sometimes right at the end of certification, they find a thing.
Yeah.
Back to the beginning of the track.
Yeah. And one advantage for those that may not know, the L1 comes with a kind of a USB extender. And if you need to extend out those cameras, the L1 can do it out of the box because it comes with its own version of an extender. It's not a traditional USB extender in that sense, but you can take their camera and move it a little further than you would a traditional camera. So keep an eye on that product. Obviously, that's a product that Crestron works with, but that's also a product that Starin has and works with as well. So I hope that answered the question. Next question we have comes in from Jeff. When the Microsoft Teams or Zoom solution is in BYOD mode, does the user's compute connect to the camera, microphone, speaker, right, via USB as a shared resource? If yes, what is the connection? Is that USB GC or A? USB, I guess USB C or A, and how does that get achieved?
Okay, so you've got it in one on the first question. Essentially, it's being passed off as a resource. We're just bypassing the built-in engine that's running Zoom and handing all those USB devices over to your laptop. You're gonna have to go in and select within whatever software you're running those particular external devices, just like you would if you plugged them in direct. Easy enough. That connection. Now, on the boxes, there are two different connections. With Zoom, the recommendation is to use USB-A and HDMI. They're there for that purpose. There is a USB-C. Teams doesn't care which one you use, and it will use either one. The recommendation for Zoom is USB-A and HDMI. If they just plug in the HDMI, it just assumes you're going to present into the room or present into the meeting. It's that USB that triggers the handoff of the USB device.
Understood. Okay. I hope that answered the question, Jeff. I have my own question. If you don't mind, I guess it's a technical question. If you have a Zoom room set up, Zoom will send out an update, goes into the admin of our administrator of our Zoom rooms, for example, and then they push out that when the time is right. How does that work when you have Crestron? Is it going to Crestron and then Crestron's pushing it, or is it Zoom automatically pushing it and you go in the next morning and the new 6.0 is up? How does that work?
Yeah. We don't try to take that away from Zoom. We let Zoom handle that. We take all of our firmware updates and all of our software updates, our pieces of it, and hand that to them with their package. Then when they do the update, and as you said, it goes to your administrator decides when to do it, that gets pushed down and updated. Because I'm a tech guy and I'm paranoid, if something goes wrong with that update, we've also built in a backup image so that we have a way to recover and then re-update. So.
Okay. And one of the things that I learned, or at least that I came to understand, but I didn't ask in the question when I was recently in classes, you guys saw the compute device that goes behind the system. That compute device is imaged, but it's not does it, for example, if you work for a Fortune 500 who likes to image their PCs a certain way, you can't drop a computer like your corporate imaging onto that. That kind of stays separate. Right. That's correct.
That is correct. It's an image that for Zoom is defined by Zoom, and for Teams is defined by Microsoft. Now, the thing about that is every manufacturer uses the same image. It's not a secret image.
Yes.
Right? It's in both cases, it's been fine-tuned to run the Zoom room or Team room experience correctly. So what I've said to a few corporate customers that say, but we like to run our own images, is that image isn't a secret. You can get a copy of that image. You can test it out on a Nook that you run and beat it up and understand what it is to meet your security requirements. You just can't change it.
And that's a question that comes up as somebody who formerly spent 13 years on site supporting the rooms. That would be a question that always came back from IT in the early days of trying to figure out, how we were going to do room PCs. And yes, we want stuff on it. No, we don't want to put our image on it, but we have to put it on it. It was always that debate. And now when you're introducing these IP based conference rooms or these, such as the Zoom and Microsoft, the first questions that most people are going to kind of confront is going to be, well, we have an image. Can we re-image it in the way we want? So I appreciate that, your honest answer. Folks, if there's any questions or any more questions, please drop them into the Q&A. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I would want to ask, because I'm curious as all hell, because that's just the way I am. But one thing,
Chris, I do have one thing I want to mention.
Sure, please.
So, one of the things that I highly encourage anybody that's interested, we're going to be at CEDIA coming up in Toronto. We also have a modern work summit that's coming up in September 2021 in Orlando. Okay, and this is a 2-day event that is dedicated on emerging trends on meeting rooms and meetings in a hybrid workplace. Okay. This is obviously coming up more and more out there, with companies thinking, well, we're trying to get people back to work, but people don't want to come back to work, to the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be a very good place for end users to come. And obviously, if you have a customer that you want to bring to the event, by all means, come with the customer and participate, okay? And the reason I mentioned our shows, and you can find these on our Crestron.com website, is that's also a really good place to see and touch and use our products. They're actually live and working. Okay, so you can get to experience the products in person now that obviously we're back to being in person, right? And traveling and getting on the road. The trade shows and the events are actually a big part of that, right? So come and see us, come and talk to us. I'm sure, Chris, you're going to be in a lot of these events yourself. So please participate and come and see us.
Absolutely. You will, a shameless plug here. If you are in Dallas, come see me. I will be at CEDIA for my first time doing a work from home conversation. Crestron will be there. They're going to be doing their thing on the residential side, but they will also be playing in the Innovation Hub and letting you know how your work from home situation can be improved. And for people that are integrators that are, coming up with the residential folks that are now doing the side hustles from their home. And we hear it more and more about systems being integrated into spaces, because yes, you were a great baker. Now it is a live streaming show based out of your house. And how do I do that? And how do I go to that next level? Maybe your cell phone camera is just not good enough anymore. I can help you with that. And I'm sure Crestron can as well. So come see me. I'll be at CEDIA this year at CEDIA 2022 in Dallas. Shoot me a message. Let me know if you're going to be there. It'll be great. Jose, you guys have been on the road, both here in the US and over in EMEA. Where's your next, ironically, where's your next stop? Did I say that right? Where's our Crestron next going to next?
Yeah, I think Sean is actually, as I mentioned earlier, in the one in Dallas that took place this week. I believe, Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that is actually our last one in the US.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the last one. But obviously, one of the things about the next road show, not only in EMEA, but also in the US, it has been very, very successful. I was probably I think I was in 2 or 3 of them, 2 that I know for sure, one in Long Beach and one in Philadelphia. And let me tell you, people were very hungry to get back out there and start, talking to people and meeting, right? it was interesting that, you know, some new employees that we had that had never met each other in person actually met at Next, right? So, you know, we're probably going to be bringing those back next year. So look out for those coming to your city, and by all means, please, you know, bring your customers, and come if you're, you know, an end user and you want to see our products in action.
We're not talking about a tour bus. Yes, you do have a tour bus, but this is actual. You guys are setting up shop. You're bringing your products. You're showing new products. You're showing the products that obviously people are there for when it comes to everything beyond. It's not just a UC show. This is a complete road show from Crestron that's been touring the country all year. And obviously we are wrapping up that. So the next one's done. I guess an announcement will be coming forth as where you can catch up to it in a local city near you as people are moving and doing things. We did have,
Chris, and sorry to interrupt you, but the other thing is that yes, this, by the way, represents all of our product in all our divisions. The commercial division, which is what the products that we're talking about here, our AV products, residential and commercial lighting. So by all means, there's representatives and people there to help answer any questions. And again, the products are live, and you can actually use them in while you're there, right? So that's another great thing about it. It's not just, you know, dummy products sitting on a shelf.
Awesome. We did get one more question, so we do have time for one more question. This question comes in from Sean. Sean is asking, does Crestron still offer training courses that our techs and sales team can attend virtual or in person? I can attest that I took some virtual courses. Can you speak to that, guys? What is the status of the in-person training?
Good question. So yes, you can do both, actually. So today, even I took some of the training on our Crestron Technical Institute at the Crestron.com. And this is open to any of you. If you're a reseller and you want to do self-paced training, where you can actually, they give you a little test for every one of the trainings, and you can pass it, and it actually tracks it for you. Okay, that's one of the beauties of it. You know, if you have, because it's self-paced, if you have 5 minutes today, 20 minutes tomorrow, you can certainly do that. Okay, our live trainings are also back now and active. So you can also find those on our website, where you can sign up to do trainings in various locations around the country and around the world, frankly. So by all means, those are back live and in person. Encourage any and all of you to sign up and come and do the trainings with us.
Sounds good. So your next big show, I guess, to close out, your next big show, I guess, is ISC. Obviously, that's over in Europe. But the next local show is going to be whatever. I'm not even sure what it is. A busy fall. I'm sure you guys are in plenty of places. Check their website, Crestron website, in case, obviously, now that you're finding out that Next is slowing down for the year, you can catch them on the road. They're definitely a company you want to meet with, check out, and see what they're doing. Let's close out the show with that. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today and giving our integrators an idea of what is to come, what's there, what's happening with Crestron, introducing the brand officially. We did that in June, but we really needed to do more of the get to know you kind of conversation. And I appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. And honestly, they like you, but they're here for the prizes. So let's get right to the $50 gift card. Sorry, guys. This is where I get overruled. And producer Mark is spinning the randomator in the background. And the winner of the $50 Amazon gift card is Cody Simpson. Congratulations, Cody. You have won the $50 gift card. Producer Mark, who is hiding in the background in the shadows, he's like the Wizard of Oz. He's kind of back there. He will get all your information, make sure that you get that information and get that prize and enjoy the $50 gift card. I hope everybody is having a wonderful summer as it comes to an end. As I said earlier, it's incredible that it's already September. If there's anything that we can do to help you guys get to your goals quicker, please let me know. Your Starin account representatives are always waiting are ready to help, and so is our CE staff as well. And I forgot, happy birthday to Dan O'Donnell, who is one of our important people here at Starin. Today's his birthday. I forgot to mention that. I wanted to embarrass him, and he's a former Crestron person, so
Yes,
even more reason to embarrass him on a Crestron town hall.
Happy birthday, Dan.
So, Jose, where can people find out more information about Crestron?
So Crestron.com. Okay, and that's where you see all the training, you see the events, you see our products. By all means, reach out to us, and then obviously reach out to your Starin representative, sales representative, if you want to do a deal registration. If at any point you had come across an opportunity where you say, hey, I have this large enterprise, you have 50 rooms that are medium, 20 rooms that are small, et cetera, et cetera. You can also reach out to us, reach out to Sean. Sean has been with Crestron for what, 20 years, Sean?
20 years this month, yeah.
Yeah, 20 years. Okay, so he knows all the ins and outs about helping you with that process, and that way we can help you close out that business and win some customers. Okay, so we're here to help. Obviously, the information and our contact information was shared with you guys earlier. Reach out anytime. Okay,
that's great, and we look forward to seeing all of you, everybody in the audience, at the next Starin Town Hall, which is already being lined up. We will send out more information once we get that. We're locking in our next manufacturer partner to come in and tell us what's going on in the world of in their little corner of the world. So thank you again. Once again, my name is Chris Netto. I'm the market development manager here at Starin. I appreciate everybody coming by, taking time out of your busy schedule to hang with us, to get to know our newest partner in Crestron, and obviously to close out the year strong. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, and I hope you have a wonderful fall as we head into that. And let's keep the conversations going. You know where to find me, and you know where to find Starin at starin.biz. We're here to help. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining. This has been a Starin Town Hall.